A solid 3-1 victory in Winnipeg for the Orange and Blue. Back into the win column as they get set to return home for a clash with the Boston Bruins on New Year's Eve on Wednesday. But we're going to break it all down right now on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. Tom Gazzola with you, live on location. Boston Pizza, Clairview. Great turnout tonight. Everybody's sitting off camera. They didn't want to be on camera. You can see a few people moving around watching the game on this monster 174-inch screen. We've got the Canada game on right now. They continue to lead Denmark 5-1 late in the second period. Really upset about what's going on in the football game. Terrible bets all around, except for I think Jay's play of the day might be doing okay somehow. Anyway, Ben Thompson will be hopping on here right away, and so too will Matt Cassian. Of course, GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to ejectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Please join the conversation. Text us 780-218-9999 or hop into the nasty chat over on YouTube. Edmonton picking up its 20th victory of the season, 2014-6 is the record. Oh, we got a passing touchdown. Big Uke bringing that up. Big thank you to all the nasties who showed up today. We got the table over here. We've got Sarah. We've got Garen. We've got Big Uke. We've got Tube Socks. We got Rip City Step. We got Cal. We got El Presidente and the crew. We got Aaron and Mackenzie and Darren, and we had a bunch of others that have been hanging out and coming by. Cody from BP Capilano was here. Huge thank you to the staff. It's always a lot of fun. Benny Thompson, grand prize today was a pair of tickets to the Oilers versus the Leafs.
Ooh.
Great grand prize. So we dished that out, and a lot of game day specials we're taking advantage of, and we continue to watch football. We have a touchdown on the board. Hallelujah, I guess, if you got money on the Rams. Let's see how this goes as they try to close the gap. Down 14 to Atlanta. Okay, this game tonight, we'll get to the Mangiapane stuff as well. Belzy and I reporting some stuff. Apparently, we're going to hear more in the coming days on Andre Mangiapane. Was supposed to play healthy scratched. We found out in warm-up. So, we'll get into that. Of course, you have questions. We'll try to answer as much as we can. 780-218-9999. Nasty chat as well. Benny, I said Calvin Pickard had to have his best game of the season. I think that damn near was his best game of the season.
It had to have been. That was that was an incredible performance by Pickard tonight. Like we've been talking about, there's the new name of Connor Ingram coming in, and he's played solid. He hasn't played elite. He hasn't played bad. It's been very solid goaltending from Connor Ingram, and it's what the Oilers have needed the past couple of years. You wanted solid goaltending, and Connor Ingram seems like he was the guy that supply that, which for some people left Calvin Pickard as the odd man out. But he came back today and said, you know what? No, I'm still a goalie, and I've been around the Oilers for a couple of years now, and I've been in playoff games for this team. I've had good records in the playoffs with this team. Don't forget about me. And he had a great performance tonight. I don't think it's crazy to say the Winnipeg Jets were probably the better team tonight. They had more dangerous looks. I think they doubled the shots over the Oilers tonight. But Calvin Pickard held them in, played a fantastic game. It was probably his best game of the year. Good for him. It's now becoming a goalie problem in a good way for the Oilers, which who would have said that a couple weeks ago?
Pardon me?
Yeah, I know, right? Crazy concept, but here we are. So, good for him. I'm excited to see what he does. I'd imagine he gets to start on Wednesday now against the Bruins. You'd have to think.
If it's winning, you're in. Then yeah.
There you go. There you are. Right. And how can you pull a guy after the performance he just had? So, good for him. This is starting to become a pretty interesting storyline because these two they're competing for that backup spot, and Pickard just gave himself a pretty good shot at keeping it. So yeah, good for him. Excited to see that he got the win tonight.
Get a goal from Roslovic, centering that third line, although we saw some line shuffling in the game, obviously. I was surprised to see Janmark get promoted, to be honest with you, but that was interesting.
I have two buddies here. They're watching a World Junior game right now. We're watching the Oilers game and they're just like, Janmark, of all guys, I understand. I think they wanted to give Savoy Roslovic so that the third line wasn't such like a Roslovic one-man show, but
right.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark being your top six isn't like definitely not ideal, but I guess whatever. He's defensively responsible, so whatever. Let Pod.
So how do we look at it then? Two top six goals lead them to, or two bottom six goals lead them to victory.
That's how I looked at it. I mean, it was power play 2 that got the Rosovic goal. Like that was a give and go with Echo and Savoy. He throws it out front. I think Henry gets a tip on it. And Rosovic with a great shot. So that's your depth won you the game today. It was not the big boys. Connor didn't get his point until the empty netter. So there's positives to look at this win. Obviously, there's going to be some negatives too. Winnipeg played a pretty damn good game and probably deserved a little bit better. But the Oilers' depth, they stepped up. That fourth line, the Max Jones goal, like that.
Huge.
Lazar with a big hit behind the net causes that turnover. Great awareness by Jones to see that Hellbuck wasn't fully in position to be able to take on that shot right away. Yep. A couple really good bright spots in that bottom six that ended up winning them the game today.
Okay, 780-218-9999. The Oilers pick up a victory in Winnipeg. These teams will close out the season series, like a week from now, back in Winnipeg. So the Oilers will be there January. Where the heck is it here? January the 8th. So not too far down the road. We'll get to do this all over again. And then if you missed it, I tweeted about it earlier, and Belzy over on our Hello Hockey account kind of got the scoop. The Oilers had given Andrew Mangiapane's camp, his agent, permission to talk to other teams to seek a trade, and then he was a late healthy scratch. By all accounts, the plan was for him to play, unless we're told otherwise in the media, but we expected him in the lineup tonight. And late scratch and warm-up, and then Belzy and myself were told that they've been given permission. His camp has to seek a trade. The latest update I have, I tweeted it during the game. I just said that as of right now in the first period, Majapane hasn't been made aware of any deal. Like nothing right away. And then there was one more update at the end of the game. It was just told that Stan has taken over and is looking to make this happen. So we'll see where this goes, but it's kind of moved quickly. It started with Elliot Friedman.
He
was talking about this morning. There might be something there, and then all of a sudden, they're prepping for the game, and oh, by the way, he's in healthy scratch. And then we're getting intel from people very close to the source saying, permission's been granted to talk to teams and seek a trade, and now apparently it's Stan's leading the charge to make this trade happen. So if we find out anything, or one of the Elliot or Pegs or someone else chimes in on it in the next day or two, then you'll know that we're not completely full of BS, as some people like to believe. But we'll see how this develops. But I think from what I have seen from the fans in regard to this development, they're kind of open to it. Not kind of, they are open to it. It hasn't been a good fit, hasn't worked. I'm a little bit surprised. It's somewhat similar to the Victor Arvidsson situation. He wasn't too happy with how things were going last year and said, hey, wouldn't mind a trade. And then they didn't facilitate that till, off season. So
yeah,
it's a little bit different, it seems like. Moving quicker.
All
right.
To me, I just I don't know how you can't see it. It's a win-win for both sides. Mangiapane probably needs a fresh start somewhere else. I'd imagine a team that's lacking a top six winger, even though he hasn't been a top six winger here, he wants better opportunity. So a team that probably needs a top six winger might see value in him. And at the same time, $3.5 million is a good chunk of money that the Oilers could absolutely use. So I think it's probably best for both sides that they part ways.
Oh, okay, and then the last thing we'll say at this point, because we've got to dive into the game, obviously. Yeah. People were asking, who would be interested in him, right? He only has, how many points does he have? Let's just double check it here.
Double digit, I think.
Yeah, Majapane has 11 points, 39 games played, 5 goals, 6 assists, minus 16, 20 penalty minutes. So people were saying, well, who would be interested in a guy like that? Honestly, those are not enticing numbers.
No.
But my thought would be teams that might have had interest in him in the offseason might be willing to revisit it. I don't know which teams those are. I'm sure there's a few that reached out to him, and I'm sure they might be willing to look at it and provide him with a better opportunity. So we'll see how this goes, but interesting how it's kind of evolved throughout the day. All right, let's get back to the game here. Edmonton wins it 3-1, picking up the 20th victory of the season for the Orange and Blue. They can make it 21 by the end of the calendar year if they beat the Bruins on Wednesday. Or 3 stars for tonight: Calvin Pickard, Adam Lowry, Jack Roslovic. And I'll go to the first text because I want to dip into the inbox. This one is from Stanley in YEG, usually in YYC. He says, sloppy game, but got a strong performance by Pickard, who stole the game and got key blocks when needed. I like 24's game as well. He's been in the right position more often than not. Yes, Pickard with a big night indeed. Liquid Beaver saying, can Frederick's agent request to look for a trade partner, please? Yes, we've also had a lot of that type of chatter. Liquid Beaver, thank you for that, providing a little bit of a guffaw, if you will. Let's go to Coach Mike. Says, Jets get goalied? Second game this season. The first one, Skinner shut out the Rangers. Can this win finally be the start of a 3-game winning streak? Coach Mike. Man, I thought for sure they had it 3-game winning streak in the bag when they were going into Calgary. Calgary played the better game and ultimately walked away with the victory in that one. But maybe, Coach Mike, maybe. This is the longest it's taken for a 3-game winning streak since 99-2000 for the Edmonton Oilers. Not a great stat, but something that they're going to have to own because they cap out at 2 wins and then they lose, and then they regroup and win 1 and lose 1, then win 2, then lose 1. So we'll see if they can actually put together a legit winning streak for the first time this season. All right. Benny, any other thoughts before I go to more texts?
Yeah, I mean, like we've talked about this, I mean, quite a bit. To get this 3-game win streak going, you'd have to beat a pretty good Boston Bruins team at home. You're at home for 3, then you're back in Winnipeg, back at home, and then to Chicago, and then so it's a little bit of a weird schedule, but they have a lot of home games in January. So
11.
Yeah, so that benefits them a lot. If I had to bet, I would imagine that this win streak gets put together in January. I like their chances. To me, it could happen after the Philadelphia game on Saturday, but even if it doesn't, I like their chances, which is at home. Just sleeping in your own bed at night, I think it'll help them. And yeah, I'd imagine it's coming in January.
There's a lot of winnable games in January. Yeah. And I know I said that going into October, and they blew a bunch of them. And they could blow these ones again, but they tend to get better as the season progresses. Yeah. And an opportunity for them to make that happen. Maybe 3+ game winning streak, which would be lovely. Yeah. I mean, really. I don't think anybody would mind that. Okay, let's go to our stats man extraordinaire, Brian Swain. Swainer texting this into me. Says, since 2020, when their goalie makes at least 40 saves, the Oilers are 17-1-3. Connor McDavid has become the 5th player in NHL history and first since 1991-92 with at least 10 goals and 20 assists in the month of December, joining Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky, Brian Trottier, and Steve Yzerman. Benny, that is elite company.
Yeah, that's
elite.
Good. I mean, good for Pickard. Good for Pickard. 40+ saves, man. Good for him. I'm happy to see. I'm happy to see this competition for one spot available. Internal competitions is usually a good thing, and I think we're seeing the benefits of that right now for this team.
All right, keep those texts coming in. The Oilers win 3-1 over the Winnipeg Jets. 780-218-9999. Oh, the Rams are back in it all of a sudden. They're back in it, down a touchdown. Getting the ball back here. I like it. I like it a lot as we welcome in our game analyst, Matt Cassian, from his satellite studios. Cass, we're talking, and you made a point of emphasis on game changers. Calvin Pickard, let's see what he can do. Has the net finally after sitting out the last few games. 41 saves. Not bad.
No, not too shabby at all, I would dare say. Benny, did you think that was his best game of the year?
Yes.
There you go.
No.
I didn't think he was going to have to play his best game of the year. I was like, he just got to play solid and he'd be back in the mix. But that was, I agree, Benny, is probably his best game of the year. Like, he played extremely well. I don't think the Oilers deserve to win that one outside of Pickard. Think you want to call that game being goalied on the other end? Did the Oilers just goalie the Winnipeg Jets? Methinks yes, they did just goalie the Winnipeg Jets. Pickard was rock solid and throws himself immediately back into the mix. Totally redeems himself, as they say. So yeah, it's a pretty garbage night outside of that, guys. Wouldn't you say? Like totally garbage.
Yeah, I mean, Winnipeg, which struggles to score, quote unquote, poured it on, but Pickard stood tall. That's how I look at it.
Mm-hmm. There were some small positives. Yeah, I like technically the 2 goals that were scored on Hellebuck were bottom 6 goals. So that
I also gave up goals.
Yeah, well, that too. I mean, there's a couple of guys that stood out a little bit, but yeah, for the most part, this was Winnipeg Jets on the deserve to win-o-meter. Probably are the favorites to win this game. But Calvin Pickard, man, good. Once again, good for him. I'm happy for him because a lot of people were writing him off. He looks like he's making a name for himself to keep the backup role.
Cass, we were kind of joking about it, but Jack Roslovic scores his power play 2. It's a bottom 6 guy tonight. Not really a bottom 6 guy, but I mean, when they lined up for the pregame skate, he was taking rushes as the third line center. And then you get the goal from Max Jones, good forecheck from Lazar. Jones tucks one in. Did you think maybe the bottom 6's ears were burning a little bit from all the chatter in Edmonton?
I don't think it needed to have the chatter for their ears to be burning. They should have just been burning without having to hear anything. I mean, their own thoughts should have been burning their ears heading into that. So maybe a little bit. Now, Max Jones does give a nice little turnover there leading to the goal against. When I watched the play, doesn't have a lot of support with him. Like, he didn't really have anywhere to go. He's on his off wing. Probably should have just ate it. Tries a little backhand play. It doesn't work. But listen, guys are fully aware that they're not producing in the bottom 6 on the team. Like, players know. They know. They understand. They look at their own stats. They are aware of their own stats. So I can't say they're sitting there focusing on it every minute of every day, but they are absolutely feeling it a little bit that they got to chip in and they got to help. Does that help inspire them tonight? Well, maybe a little bit. Roslovic certainly helped that group being down there. But what do you think of them outside of that? So, like, if we look at the rest of their game, the ones in the power play. So one of the goals is a power play goal. So let's push that one aside. Because, yes, that's second unit on the power play, and that's your bottom 6, but that's still a power play goal. So let's push those guys to a side and say, okay, if I asked you, if you had to rate on a scale of 1 to 10 today, how the bottom 6 played, what would you put them at?
I would think that the goal gives them an automatic boost on their rating in that regard. 7? Not going to go below that.
Here you go. Yeah. That would be my number 2 probably. Like they gave up 1, got 1 5-on-5. Like I mean, usually your top guys are able to get you those extra goals you needed. They didn't have to tonight, but I mean, if Connor and Leon both put up 1 goal each, there's not as much emphasis on the bottom 6 tonight. Even though they ended up, having a good game and helping their team win. Yeah.
I mean, I think a 7 is a fair rating, and it'd be lower if they don't score the goal.
Yes.
Right. Now, if they don't get scored on, all of a sudden it's probably a little bit higher than that. I think a 7 is a fair rating, but it's not like they were lights out.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we were like, man, that third and fourth line are rolling tonight. Like, they're generating all kinds of chances. They're hard for Winnipeg to handle. They're spending all kinds of time in the offensive zone. Like they're playing really great. Look at their minutes tonight. They still played underneath 10 minutes, that fourth line in particular, and weren't on the ice that often. A good chunk of them. Now, Henrique plays a little bit more, which was great. Roslovic minutes down a little bit, although I thought he was decent.
Yep.
But yeah, there's still lots of room to grow here right now with that third line and fourth line too. And again, in a game where actually maybe here's a follow-up one. That's you give the third, fourth lines a 7, bottom 6. What are you giving the Oilers overall as a whole, the team tonight, outside of Pickard? So if we ignore Pickard, the rest of the team, what are you giving them?
I might give them a 6.5.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching the game and I'm seeing Winnipeg with a nice chance. I'm seeing Winnipeg again with a nice chance. Winnipeg again with a nice chance. They had the deadly chances, and it was Pickard keeping the Oilers alive. And then, they get a couple. They create that opportunity on the Jones goal, which is great. They get that late power play goal. But it really, to me, was a game where Winnipeg seemed hungrier.
Yeah. And that's 2 in a row where the other team seemed hungrier. Right, Calgary wanted.
That's a trend. Now we're talking about a trend. We're not talking about a bad habit or two.
Well, it's start of a trend. The first 2 games of it, where it's been 2 in a row now of a little bit of that sluggishness, and the other team desperately outplaying you. Now, Winnipeg is in that desperate situation, right, where they need to find a way to get wins here. So you can see it and you can feel it in the building a little bit. But yeah, I have it at like a 6. The rest of the team, it was hold on. Really, the whole second half of the game, it was hold on for dear life. It almost had that inevitable feeling, it's on the other end of it. When Edmonton sometime is down and then they really start to push, and you're like, oh, they're coming back.
Yeah,
they're gonna come back. They're gonna win this thing. They're gonna score. They're gonna put this away. It kind of had that reverse feeling to it, where I was just like, Winnipeg's coming back. Winnipeg's coming back, because they were pushing, and Edmonton just couldn't find a way to settle it down really until they got that empty net goal. It was survive. They were just in survival mode. So, lots of room to grow here from an overall gameplay standpoint. But guys, at the same time, they find a way to hold on, right? They were scrambling. Yes, they were under pressure. Yes, they weren't great, but they found a way to win, and it's on the road. So we got to be happy with that, right?
Yeah. You're happy with the result, the process, questionable, right? I think that's fair. You take the result, but you go, well, you can work on a few things, but you're going to take that any day of the week. All right, it is the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show. The Oilers 3-1 winners over the Winnipeg Jets. They'll close out the season series in Winnipeg with this club in a week and a bit on January the 8th. Let's go to the text line now, 780-218-9999. Dirty Curdy using his words, and he says, Nugent Hopkins showed leadership, and the team responded. Picks fighting for his job with a rapier-like effort. And if you're wondering what that word means, a long, thin, sharp-pointed sword designed primarily for thrusting. That's how he used his glove in making some nice saves and some kick saves and some blocker saves like he did. Nicely done, Dirty Curdy. Excellent vernacular tonight. Let's go to Rip City Step, who is here. Great to see him here. It says, Benny, now that McKenna scored 2 goals against Denmark, is he better than Bergeron? Oh, he just had to stir the pot. And then Rip City Step says, never doubted him. He's not listening anyway. So
23 points in 7 games. Oh, stop it. 23 points in 7 games. Better than Bergeron's MVP. Don't care.
Oh, God. Get out of here. You kids. No appreciation for the complete game. I'm kidding. Let's go to Todd in Bonnyville. Todd says, nice win. Props to the Prophet in your pre-game show that predicted a 3-1 win. Pickard with the 95.5 save percentage. Must be close. LOL. Yes. Timber Woodsman says, all the talk about can't win 3 in a row. What is their biggest losing streak this season? Also, high danger chances for and against. Do you have that in front of you? The high danger chances, boys? Any one of you?
I had expected goals. That's not the same.
That's different. That's different. And then longest losing streak this year, Cass, I think was 3. Maybe winless in 4, if I recall, for an instance.
There was a 3-gamer early in the year.
Yes, they lost to the Islanders, Devils, and Rangers.
Yeah, that was that Eastern swing where it was horrible off the start.
And then they also had a 3-game winless streak, but that's it. So I know. Oh wait, 1, 2, 3. They had 2 more 3-game winless streaks, but there was always an OT loss mixed in there.
High danger chances were in favor of the Jets, 11-7.
11-7.
Yeah.
Did I hear that right? Canada just scored, by the way.
Oh, another.
Yeah.
They were dominating Denmark when we were watching.
Yeah. Well,
I hope
there's
so.
a lot of things happening right now.
Yeah. It's been a rough
Let's
turn.
see. Here's one from Rod Z. Says, who cares? Jets looking better. Oilers first to Pacific. Also, it was a 6 dressed up as a 9. Excellent reference, Rod Z.
Great.
Yeah. Nolan from St. Albert texting us says the Oilers have a positive 3-way goalie controversy. Was not on my 25-26 bingo card. Also, I know I fall on the homer side of listeners. I agree with Cass that the Jets pushed hard and that a tying goal felt inevitable, but I'll give the boys some grace. Probably still fat and happy from all that turkey and cranberry sauce. Hopefully they worked it off. What say you? 780-218-99. 99. All right, Cass, do you take a lot of confidence from a win like that, or do you just go, all right, we'll take the 2 points. We know we got some work to do.
You take the 2 points, you eat your slice of pizza, and you hop on the bus and drive back home because Winnipeg doesn't have an airport. That's kind of what you do. You're thankful you get the win in that one. It's one where you're not you're happy in the room, you celebrate in the room. You don't talk about how close it was. You just kind of it's going to let it go and move on. Get out of Winnipeg. Be thankful. I don't think you have to come back here again this season, and take your 2 points and leave. That's it. Run out of town. Hide them in your pocket. Sneak out of there. You got them. Winnipeg did not. It's another painful loss for them. So yeah, take your 2 points. Get out of Dodge.
Like it. All right. I'm seeing everybody's going crazy here. We got another goal, 7-1 for Canada. McKenna scored.
Howdy.
Also, guys, someone pointed this out earlier here at BP, and then Spec just tweeted it a little while ago. Said, in regard to Connor Ingram, because he's on an emergency recall, he can play up to 9 NHL games. Backing up does not count. Then be returned to the AHL without requiring waivers. Days in NHL don't matter. It's 10 games that triggers waivers. So far, he has played 3. So I would assume, depending on the severity of Tristan Jarry's injury, they'll stagger and drag this out and prolong it as much as they can, which in my opinion gives Pickard more of an opportunity to perform the way he did and make a case for his job. That's an interesting point. Good thing now we know that. Good job, Spec, putting that out there. Appreciate that clarification. How do you look at that scenario, Cass?
They're gonna run him through as much as they can without having to put him back on waivers. It just does depend on what the length of time of Jerry's injury. That's kind of what's going to drive the bus on this here. If it ends up being longer, well, now all of a sudden you got real decisions to make. If he comes back, what are you going to do? You're probably going to send Ingram back down and keep him there for a week, and then all of a sudden you have flexibility. That being said, guys, do you run 3 all year if you can?
No team likes that, and no goalies like that 3-headed goalie monster.
No. So you're going to have to make a decision most likely at some point. I know Pickard played really well today, but if you had to choose today still, even with what we just saw, Calvin Pickard, how he played, if you had to pick between Pickard and Ingram, if Jarry was going to be healthy again, and you're assuming he's going to be the guy, who's your backup today? Who do you would you send Ingram back down because he doesn't have to clear waivers, or are you doing something with Calvin Pickard?
I'll tell you what, my guess is the sentiment around this market from the fan base would be to keep Ingram and get rid of Pickard.
Yeah, well, that's the fan base sentiment. What about you, Tommy?
I'm still yet to be determined. I want to see more Connor Ingram, and I want Calvin Pickard to have opportunities like he had tonight to make a case for himself, because I think there is something to loyalty.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I appreciate that. I think the guys in the room have a certain appreciation for Calvin Pickard. I think having a mini battle mid-season, guys fighting for that role with this opportunity presenting itself is good. But I don't want to just say, okay, I've seen enough of Connor Ingram, get rid of Calvin Pickard. And I know we started having those conversations after Ingram was given that start in Calgary, 3 in a row.
Yep.
And to me, I didn't want to dive in on that sentiment. I said, well, Pickard's got to make a case for himself, and the only way he does that is when he gets a start. And he gets his first one in this time frame with Ingram up here, and he had a brilliant night. So I am not ready to say you can call it one way or the other. I think we need to see a little bit more, especially from Ingram, to see. Yeah, I mean, it's a 3-game stretch, and you got to give Pickard at least another chance to fight for his job.
Yeah, 100%. With Ingram, he's played 3 games, right?
Yeah.
I'd imagine they look at him as an asset, and everyone wants to, like, there's Oilers fans that are sitting there going, like, oh, their asset management is horrible. Well, I mean, they have an opportunity to keep this asset if they send Ingram down before the 10-game mark. But, before tonight's game, if I had to send down a guy tonight, I'll be honest with you, I was leaning towards Ingram because of his upside, and that I didn't think he'd have to play too much if Jari's healthy and playing. But Pickard, again, he just showed why. It seems like anytime his job is on the line, he steps up, and anytime the stakes are at its highest, he shows up. So, he made it. Doesn't have to make a name for himself necessarily because he's been the guy. But it's a real conversation now, and like you guys were saying, the best thing to do is to stretch this all out and give yourself the most amount of time with the most amount of a sample size to look at to be able to make that decision. So yeah, we're not going to know who they decide probably for another couple of weeks. So it's probably the smart move.
You want to cap that off with anything, Cass?
No, if it was me, people are going to hate this. If it was me, I think Pickard clears waivers. His numbers are among the worst in the NHL on the season. This game helps him. It was a good game. Maybe not after this game, but if I look at it, I go, who's going to pick him up on waivers right now? Who legitimately is going to pick up Calvin Pickard off waivers?
Who needs a goalie right now?
This sends Linus Ullmark just left on a personal leave. So they might need a guy.
So maybe.
There was one more I saw. I think a goalie's hurt. Oh, Kachekov in Carolina. He's done for the year. So maybe
Carolina loves their waivers.
They love their waivers.
They certainly do, as we witnessed today.
Yeah. So maybe there's that. Maybe you're trying to time it through, but and I know people are like, well, it is 3 games, yes, but he was an NHL starter.
Yeah. And
Pickard has not been. He's been a very good backup, a great backup in some instances. He's played very well in some stretches.
He was a starter on a terrible Colorado Avalanche team
for a short period of time. Yeah.
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 Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I go Ingram's more of a starting goalie. I mean, that's kind of where I go. So I lean that way, but that's me. And I'm not trying to run Pickard out of town. If Jari's injured, you want to keep them both around as long as you can. I think you do play that game a little bit. And there is something of the loyalty. And I think that is an important piece. I'm actually happy you brought that up because that is important to it too. Because for as much as we don't want to think that it affects the room and the guys in the room, that sort of stuff, it does. So that is an important consideration, Tom. I'm happy you brought that up.
Thank you, Cass. It struck me this morning, and Joaquin made a what I thought was a true point. And he said the NHL has become a what have you done for me lately league. And that's what put Calvin Pickard in a precarious situation. And I agree with Joaquin. But at the same time, I'm going, why is there no loyalty? He had a great year last year. He got off to a bad start. His numbers are terrible. We know this. But does he not deserve an opportunity or two to try to build back some of the trust and show that he's still a good goalie? I appreciate that kind of thing. Cass, I feel like you do too with your response. And I think there's something to that. I think that's when you deal with adversity and you know, you have the trust of your peers and those around you, and you succeed after some tough times because they felt like they owed it to you to give you that opportunity. I think that could boost you and spring you forward in sports and just in life. I appreciate that kind of thing, but I don't know if there's that much of a patience from some within the market. Okay. Cass, let's take a look ahead to Wednesday against Boston. What do you think? New Year's Eve festivities.
Yeah. Get in your car, go to Boston. It's gonna be interesting. Boston's an interesting team for me this year because they've had moments where they've been really, really good. And recently they've been struggling a lot more. Still a better team at home. They've lost 3 in a row now. You know, a team that is kind of in that soft rebuild in some ways, let's call it, or don't call it a rebuild sort of way where they're trying to retool, reset, rebuild on the fly. But still a team that at times can find ways to beat you like it. And there's so much parity in the league. But what do I think happens heading into Boston? Well, you got to be ready for Arvidsson to have a great game. You know, he's going to be bringing it.
You just had to, didn't you?
Yeah. So we know that's happening. Perennial Oilers killer David Pastrnak. Well, Pasternak's fun to watch for sure. Is going to be a lot of fun as he always is, but it's still a team. Now their defensive core isn't as good as it used to be, or it isn't as good as it has been the last number of years there. So maybe some opportunity on the defensive side. I'll be a little sad seeing Zadorov, and I know it's not surprising that he's not here in Edmonton, but I would have loved to have seen him in Edmonton. But it's a find your game type of game, guys. It's a 2 games are showing a trend. 3 games tells me it's a lot more of a habit if we come out and we see that flatness again. So what I'm hoping we see from Edmonton is a lot of energy and a lot of jump heading into that one. Gonna be a battle. It will be a battle, and one of those ones where hopefully you're focused up and not thinking about New Year's.
Cass, I enjoyed your energy and your jump on the pregame and postgame show. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, fellas. This is good to chat. We'll see you soon.
There you go. There is our game analyst, Matt Cassian. Happy New Year, Cass. Because I think he's in on Wednesday. So, So, Cass, great stuff all year long. Look forward to catching up with him and reconnecting in 2026. Okay. The Rams have tied it. Where does that... Big Uke, where's our bet at? We're not good. Yeah. Yeah, we need the Rams. Okay, we're cooked. Yeah. Oh, that sucks. All right. Well, we're cooked. We tried a sprinkle. Doesn't look like it's going to pan out. I did have another little sprinkle on something, but I don't know if that one. Jay's play of the day, which was like an anti-fantasy play of the day that he went with. It was 2 TDs from Bijan. And it hit.
Wow.
It hit. And I think it needed like 5.5 receptions, something like that. Unbelievable. So I'm on a cold streak. I need to use my game sense. As we roll along here, let's get to the turning point of the game. Brought to you by our good friends at Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy. Connor McDavid's got a Ziva specialist. You got a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today, www.advantagesportmed.ca, or call 780-460-9977. I'm going to give a honorable mention for turning point of the game to Calvin Pickard's grade A quality saves on some very good opportunities for the Jets. But I'm just going to go to power play 2, converting in limited opportunity. Jack Roslovic goes far glove, and that ends up being your Advanced Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game. Do you think he knew where to shoot on that one because he used to be teammates with Connor Hellebuck?
Possibility. I also think it just came to him in the perfect spot to where it's like,
yeah,
where Hellebuck comes out, it's like, okay, glove side, like he's gonna come across, so he most likely will slide a little bit more over on the blocker side. So yeah, probably knew shoot glove. I thought you would give it to the Nuge fight. That
was great though. That was
awesome.
I like how he initiated that by messing up with he smacked Pionk in the face and tapped the back of his helmet, knocked his helmet off, and then I think it was Nugent Hopkins that looked at Pionk and said, you want to go?
Yeah.
And I don't know if they landed a lot of those punches, but they were throwing.
Yeah.
They were throwing. That was great to see. I enjoyed the hell out of that. That was his 5th fight in the NHL. They had Hamhuis, was it Hinestroza?
Yes, in Chicago.
The Chicago one.
Yeah.
Let me try to remember. Hall and Monahan.
Yep.
And now Neil Pionk.
Yep.
Well done, Nugent Hopkins. That should have gotten honorable mention as well, or it could have been. I know people were texting in like, Nuge with a fight, and he doesn't do it often, but when he does, he doesn't lose.
Yes.
So, well done there. All right, we're going to go inside the Oilers locker room. Benny, I'm going to let you pick who we hear from first.
It just got to fit the night. We're going to go with Calvin Pickard on a fantastic night for him. This is him from the locker room tonight.
And there, what was in that turkey?
It wasn't turkey. I actually don't like turkey, but steak, ham, pierogies, rice, Caesar salad. It was a Pickard special last night. It was good.
Give us your rundown of your night and how you felt.
Yeah, had a couple early ones, got into it. It was consistent. There's no lulls in the game. They kept shooting, they kept coming. We did a pretty good job of keeping them on the outside. Their power play got some looks, had to make some saves there, but it was just one of those games. They were great, and you got to give them credit, and they played well, and I needed to be good, and we defended well as well.
Figured you're the first person to give your teammates compliments, but just what does this start do for your confidence? I mean, that was a quality start right from the drop of the puck.
Yeah, honestly, I felt pretty good the last month or so. It's hard to get much traction. I thought I played pretty decent in Montreal, pretty decent in Minnesota. Just not getting rewarded for it. I got some bounces tonight, and I got rewarded for it. So I like where my game's at. Just want to keep that going.
When you stop a couple of high-quality looks like you did in the opening minutes, does that help a goaltender just kind of settle in a little bit?
For sure, yeah. Obviously there's some time between starts here, and you want to get into it, but I felt good. I felt good in practice, and I'm confident. This is my third year here, confident behind the group, and just try to do my job.
Max was talking about how much you not only mean to the team, but how much you mean to him. So I got to ask you about your friend, and what was it like seeing him getting into the goal column tonight?
That was great. Yeah, he's an awesome guy. Makes me laugh. Great to have around, and he's been playing well. Giving us good energy, hitting. Playing hard. It was good to see him get rewarded.
The Jets' 42 shots was the highest this season. Knowing that, does that give you a little bit more, satisfaction with the outcome today for yourself?
Yeah, they played well. They threw a lot of pucks to the net. They had some good tips. Their D threw a lot of pucks there, but we did a pretty good job. A couple of probably my 2 best games of the year. I've had the most shots out of any of the games. So if we're giving up shots from the outside, that's fine, and take the sticks away. So it was good.
Max was also talking about the sacrifice that a lot of the players are making. Leon Draisaitl gets down there to block a shot towards the end of the game. Just what does that say about where this team's at and how it's competing?
Yeah, this team's been through a lot of playoff games and sacrifice. It's a tough building to play in. You see Leon make a big block. You see all these guys make big plays. Hyman had a great stick lift, right before we iced the game there. So a lot of good plays all around. A lot of good experienced players that make big plays at the right time.
There you go. There's Calvin Pickard, 41 save performance for his 4th victory of the season. Pickard improving now to 4-5-2 on the season, allowing just the 1 goal. So his GAA definitely going to come down from 393. His save percentage goes up from a paltry 861, for lack of a better term. Let's go into the inbox for a few here. Let's go to Atif. Atif saying, good evening to the best post game in Edmonton. The defense of the Oilers played okay. Too many shots. Pickard played great. Jack Roslovic on fire. What a pickup for the Oilers. Bring on New Year's Eve and the Boston Bruins, from Atif. El Presidente says, good to see you tonight, Tommy. Have safe travels home. I will see you around. Happy New Year. Good to see you too, El Presidente. Thank you for coming out. Always appreciate that. Timber Woodsman says, like 11-7 high danger chances. Isn't like they got destroyed. No, but it just seemed like the Jets were hungrier.
Possession a lot.
Yeah, hungrier, desperate. Edmonton hung in there. It's a good road win. No question. When I was talking about loyalty earlier, this text says, no loyalty in Vegas seems to work for them. Yeah, I mean, yes and no. It might bite them in the butt every now and then, but that overly aggressive
sometimes doesn't always pay
mantra.
off.
Yeah. And then that same texter saying, is there a bug going through the room post-break? They look sluggish, especially 29. There was something when Regula missed a little bit of time. There's a few others around the team that were sick. Maybe it's still lingering, but I don't know for sure. And at this time of year, there always can be. And then Coach Mike says, does this start earn Pickard the start versus Boston? Out-of-town scoreboard looks promising. Oilers could be first in the Pacific at the end of the night. And let's get you updated on the out-of-town scoreboard. There was 11 games on the schedule tonight, so a busy return, or this start of the week. They returned yesterday, or Saturday, pardon me. Florida beats Washington 5-3. Carolina 3-2 over the Rangers in overtime. Columbus 4-1 over Ottawa. Buffalo 4-2 winners over St. Louis. The Avs lead the Kings 3-1 start of the third. 2-2 Nashville and Utah in Utah after 2. 1-1 Boston and Calgary after 2. Vegas trailing Minnesota 2-0 after 1. You got San Jose up on Anaheim 2-1 after 1. And then Seattle ahead of Vancouver after 1. The score there, 2-1 Kraken. So, yeah, there's the potential for first place in the Pacific Division when all is said and done. The dust settles on all the action around the league. Right now, the Oilers at 46 points through 40 games, 20, 14, and 6 on the season. That was game number 40 for the Orange and Blue. All right, Benny, let's go back inside the Oilers locker room. Who we're going to hear from now?
We're going to hear from a guy we'll hear about a little bit later. Max Jones speaks after the game tonight. So here is Max Jones from the after the game tonight.
The key to allowing yourself to hold them to such a low score with all this?
Well, I mean, first, Pickard. I mean, he played a heck of a game, and obviously it hurts, me when I make a tough play in the D zone there and try to make something happen. But he's been good all night, and he was a big part of that. Guys laying their body on the line there, strong plays. Hyman at the end there, sticking Connor from behind there, and it was just a group effort. It was fun to watch down the stretch there.
Yeah, you talked about the sacrifice even towards the end there. Leon Draisaitl gets down and blocks one. What's going on inside a dressing room on the bench when a team is playing like that?
Yeah, I mean it's impressive to watch and be a part of. I mean you see a team like that that's gone back-to-back cup finals, and you kind of see why. You see the culture here and see what they built. Draisaitl's blocking a shot, at the end of the game right after Christmas. It's all year long, so it's good to see, and it drags everyone else along too. So it's really fun to be a part of it.
Max, can you maybe take us through the state of your game? It looks like you've been playing really well since being called up. Get rewarded with the big goal today. Just maybe take us through your effort.
Yeah. I'm just trying to play, hard and simple. Obviously right now I'm more upset about the D zone turnover there and trying to make something happen. But outside of that, mistakes are going to happen, so I can't worry about it too much. My game, physical, fast, and obviously with low minutes, you got to play a certain way, and I think I can do a pretty good job at it, and help the team in that way. So just finding my game piece by piece.
I know you talked about Calvin Pickard off the top, but can you maybe just give us a semblance of what he means in this dressing room? We know how popular of a guy he is.
Yeah, it's huge. I think me and him have grown very closely ever since I got traded here. It's obviously tough to get traded to a new team, and the first guy that started talking to me, make me feel welcome was Pick. So it's very welcoming, and he can also be a loudmouth too. But he's a great guy. He's fun to be around. He keeps the spirits high, energy up. So it's very fun to be around.
How does it feel to score a goal in a town where your dad played for a number of years?
Yeah. Oh, my dad's going to love that one. No, he's going to love that. That's shout out to you, Dad. But it was pretty special. Obviously, his time here was pretty cool. Obviously, I wasn't born yet, but hearing the stories of him playing here and my mom being here with him, it is really cool. It's cool to be a part of it. I'm looking forward to seeing what he texts me after the game. So, yeah, it's pretty special.
There you go. There's Max Jones picking up a goal tonight, getting the party started for the Edmonton Oilers, and admitted there on the turnover, the goal against. But good on him, and nice to see some depth scoring. And then his dad, Brad, if you're wondering, played for the Jets in 86, 87, 87, 88, 88, 89, 89, and 90. Mostly just a call-up. 4 games in 86, 87, 19 in 87, 88, 22 games in 88, 89, and 2 games in 89, 90. He would go on to play for the LA Kings the following year in 90, 91. Played 53 games that year. 48 games the next year in Philadelphia with the Flyers, and then wound up bouncing around Europe and then the IHL and the AHL before calling it a career with the BC Icemen of the UHL.
Oh, boy.
All in all, played 148 NHL games. Max Jones' dad, Brad, 25 goals, 31 assists, 122 penalty minutes. So there you go. There's the history lesson on Max Jones' dad, Brad. And kind of neat there. Yeah, gets a goal from his son tonight against the team that he used to play for. Although it is Jets 2.0, but I feel like the essence of the Jets is still the same, even though they used to be the Atlanta Thrashers. Like if you go to Kelly Buchberger, the first ever captain in Atlanta Thrashers history, go, Bucky, do you feel a connection to the Winnipeg Jets? The current Winnipeg Jets? You know what Bucky would say? Because technically he's their first captain. He'd be like, yeah, we love beating them. He wouldn't even consider the Atlanta part,
Yeah.
And it was interesting because talking to Huss, and I remember on Winnipeg Sports Talk, I believe they had this conversation, or Huss was making a point of discussing it. Why not give the Winnipeg Jets 2.0 the Winnipeg Jets 1.0's history?
Yeah.
Now that the Coyotes are a franchise kind of in stasis, or they've been shelved for now, because they although they relocated to Utah, that is technically an expansion franchise.
Yes.
So it's a bit odd how the NHL did that. But if the history of the original Winnipeg Jets is just out there lingering in the cosmos, why not give it to this Jets 2.0? And then if you can just play with history of franchises, that one I would have time for.
100% with you. Like so that would be like Dale Hawerchuk, and like those numbers would get brought in. Correct? Is that? Yeah.
Technically, everything he's done with a franchise is stuck with the Coyotes on the shelf.
Yeah. That's so weird.
Like, does it exist? Yeah, kind of. Not with a current franchise. It's weird.
Yeah.
And you could say stuff like that about teams that have folded. We haven't really seen a team fold in a long time. Like, they disbanded Kansas. No, was it Kansas City? Cleveland.
Yeah, okay.
The Cleveland Barons didn't last very long. They only lasted a couple of seasons. They basically dispersed their players. And Kansas City moved to Colorado. Colorado moved to New Jersey. When the San Jose Sharks came into the National Hockey League, there was a connection to the Minnesota North Stars, and they had to move some North Stars players to the Sharks. There's been some weird times where stuff like that has happened. But right now, you have all of the history of the Winnipeg Jets just sitting there on a shelf, essentially. And you have the city and the team with the same name, even though it's Jets 2.0, kind of like, well, we don't really want to tie and associate ourselves to the Atlanta Thrashers.
Do it.
I don't know. It's an interesting discussion. And every time I look up the stats and history between the Oilers and the Jets. I remember when they played in the playoffs, I had to go to Jets 1.0 stats, and I had to look up the Arizona Coyotes between 1979 and 1996 versus the Edmonton Oilers. And then you look at Jets 2.0 stuff. You have to look up Atlanta Thrashers and Winnipeg Jets against the Oilers. Then I don't even consider the Atlanta Thrashers years, so I just look at Jets 2.0. Yeah. So you got to remember, they came into Winnipeg for Jets 2.0, 2011, 2012. That's right. So, yeah, it's just weird. Pain in the ass.
Media stuff.
Anyway. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get to the Damon Bunting Real Estate Player of the Game. Benny, I'll pass that off to you. Do you want me to read the liner, or would you like to read the liner?
The liner right here.
Oh, hit it up, baby. Let's go.
There we go. The Damon Bunting Real Estate Player of the Game. Damon Bunting has been a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out on DamonBunting.com or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. The player of the game today, we were just talking about him a little bit, has a small tie to Winnipeg with his dad and everything is pretty cool. Max Jones, getting rewarded for some very solid play. And I was talking about it with my buddies here that the bottom six has been a highlight of the Oilers where like it's a talking point and how disappointing it's been. And it's to me, it's a little bit, some guys are getting thrown into that category when they shouldn't be, because of the play of others. So what I mean by that is Mangiapane, Frederick, Henrique. Those are guys you expect to produce, and those are guys you expect to have an impact in the game, and they have failed to do that as of late. Max Jones, and I pair him with Curtis Lazar. You know what they're going to do. They go out there, they do it, and you couldn't want anything more from them. The odd goal here and there, and sure enough, Max Jones gets rewarded for his good play. They play anywhere between 5 to 8 minutes a night. And it seems like they know their job. And he said it in his post game there. It's like he plays low minutes, and it takes a skill to be able to play those minutes and have an impact. And I think he's doing a pretty good job of it. So gets reward today. Yeah, had a rough turnover in his own end and failed to pick up Lowry after. But I just think his play has been really solid since the call up, and tonight gets a goal. And so yeah, I'm happy for him, and that's why he's the Damon Bunting Player of the Game.
Very nicely done, Betty, and I like the way you explained that. There you go. Max Jones, the Damon Bunting Real Estate Player of the Game. The Rams have lost to the Atlanta Falcons somehow, and Bijan Robinson had 2 touchdowns and over the amount of receptions that Jay had on the play of the day. Jay hits it again, and I should have sprinkled, and I totally that one up. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's see if there's any text left. Norman de Combine says, tell Uke to talk a little louder. That's from Norman de Combine, yeah. Can't hear you. Big Uke, all flustered, took his hat off. Well, the anthem's playing. And Canada with a big victory as well. So it'll be the Oilers and the Bruins from Edmonton on Wednesday night at 7:30 start. As I'm being chastised by Big Uke and Rip City Step. 7:30 start. We're on the air at 6:30 p.m. Come join us. We'll have a lot of fun. We'll get you ready for your New Year's Eve party. And then, yes, we'll have the post-game show. We're probably going to keep it nice and tight on the post-game show because we'd like to enjoy some of the festivities and hoopla. But we'll definitely break down whatever happens between the Oilers and Bruins in the last game of 2025 in Oil Country. That's going to do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. The Oilers win 3-1 over the Winnipeg Jets. That's another win, 20th of the season for the Orange and Blue. They're going to look for number 21 at the end of 2025 on Wednesday night. A big thank you to everybody who watched, listened. Huge thank you to everybody who came out to Boston Pizza. Claire of you, Jason, Lisa, Sarah, the entire crew here. Fantastic as always. You know, we appreciate you. And we will see you all tomorrow, 6 a.m. for the Nielsen Show. Will Fraser in with Dusty. And we've got lots of coverage for you from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then we can do it all over again on New Year's Eve. Off on New Year's. Just a programming note there. For Benny Thomson and Matt Cassian, I'm Tom Gazzola saying have yourselves a great night. Drive safe. Be good. We'll see you tomorrow.